I think it's always nice to stay home and make a romantic dinner at home, and I've got the perfect date night recipe and later the perfect date night dessert. So sip of coffee, I'm going to get to work. All right, you've heard of shrimp scampi, right? I mean, it's one of my favorite things. Love, love, love it. Make it at home, order it at the restaurants. Very, very simple to make. Even my daughter, that's Ireland's favorite. She makes it too. Yeah, she actually makes shrimp scampi. Pretty cool. You know why? Because I tell her she can't order it out to eat because it's too expensive. So you gotta order it at home, or make it at home, I should say. So I thought, how do we dress it up and make it even more, special? I'm going to show you how to do lobster scampi. Kind of on the order of shrimp scampi, but a few changes, and it's a great way to stretch your buck and be able to afford lobster, because we're going to mix it with pasta, so you don't need a whole ton of it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop some linguine, or you could use fettuccine or even spaghetti noodles, into some boiling water. And this is going to serve at least 4 people, maybe even more. So you would pay, like, I'd say 25 or more bucks, maybe even 30 bucks an entree for this out at a restaurant. You can make it at home for way, way less than that. I'm all about saving money. But I like my lobster too, so this is kind of a great way to get both. Season my water with some kosher salt. Now I've got a skillet out. I'm going to melt 1 stick of butter. I mean, come on. It's lobster. It's Valentine's. It's date night, so we're going to have a little bit of butter. Just play a little extra tennis this weekend. Okay, so 1 stick of butter in our skillet. And I've got basically 3 or 4, or even just a couple of these little lobster tails. They're actually on sale this week at Festival. They're $5.99 a piece. And I mean, come on, where can you get lobster for, under $6? Anyway, they're absolutely fabulous, and they're very quick and easy to cook. You can throw them into boiling water. You can even do them in the microwave. You can bake them. And like I say, for this recipe, you don't really need a ton of them. Even 2 or 3 would do it. So we've cooked them, and we're just going to chunk them up. This is sometimes, I mean, if you are lucky enough to be whisked away and taken out to dinner and you happen to order lobster, sometimes you have a little leftover lobster, and this is a great way to use it too in this dish. So sometimes, if you're going out for surf and turf and it's a great big tail and you've got, you just couldn't finish it, it was just so rich you couldn't finish it all, my goodness, take it home in a doggy bag, maybe add some shrimp to it and make the same recipe. Okay, now I told you this recipe is going to be a little bit different than your ordinary shrimp scampi. I thought we'd add a little more flavor, a little bit more color, and really make it rich and decadent. So I've got some diced Roma tomatoes here, and I just want to, I'm using Roma tomatoes because of the time of year it is, and this is, these are good all year round, plus there's not a lot of seeds, so I'm just going to dice up a couple of Roma tomatoes, just a fine dice. Although this time of year you can get those, nowadays you can get tomatoes all year round, but for this recipe I like to use the Romas.
You want a bigger board?
Nope, I'm great. I'll fit it all in there. Ann asked me if I wanted a bigger cutting board. That'd be one more dish to wash, and I'm sure you don't want to do that.
Exactly.
All right. Get my tomatoes in here, in with the butter. Do 1 more of them. I do love going out to dinner every once in a while. I mean, who doesn't? But Valentine's Day weekend, the restaurants can be very, very busy, so that's sometimes, especially with the weather and the snow and the cold, nice to stay in. And do a special dinner at home. Maybe turn on some music, pick up some flowers, put a fire in the fireplace, or light a candle. It's just fun to do. Almost lost her, but I'm good. All right. So in go our tomatoes. And by the way, if you don't like tomatoes, leave them out. Not a huge deal. Now I've got some fresh garlic, and you know what happens on date night? if you both eat garlic, kind of cancels each other out. So I think I will take this other board here. So there you go. Keep that in mind. I love garlic. If you know that by now, right? And by the way, these are what those little guys look like. They're just so cute. This is with the shell on. So we just removed the shell and then chunked up that lobster. All right, garlic. Went a little heavy on the garlic here, Ann, huh? 3 to 4 cloves. Just depends. Sometimes you get these ginormous cloves, but this looks just perfect. Just going to give it a rough chop. Get that garlic in there with those tomatoes. Oh, smells delicious. "30-second rule when we're using fresh garlic. In it goes. And I just want to start kind of smelling it. A little pinch of red pepper flakes too, just for a little bit of a kick. And now we're going to start adding the rest of our ingredients, because I don't want to burn that garlic. That would just be a shame. All right, dry white wine. Don't need the real expensive stuff. These little bottles just work wonders when it comes to cooking, because you can screw the cap back on and use it another time. But if you're having a bottle of wine with your romantic dinner, just use a splash of that. A little bit of heavy cream. And that heavy cream with the lobster and the wine and this pasta. Wow. I just want to bring this to a simmer and let that sauce reduce a little bit. And it is going to be wonderful. Now, I don't want to overcook my pasta. I want to keep an eye on it. How are we doing here? Linguine and spaghetti, they cook really quick and then get away from you. And wow. Don't let that happen to you. It's just such a bummer when you overcook the pasta and the dish just not the same. And that pasta is actually going to go back into the pot, so it's going to kind of cook twice, so it's just about done. I'm going to get it out of there right now, because remember, it's going to continue to cook as we drain it in this colander. All that water out of there. All right, I'm going to get my lobster, which this is starting to simmer down a little bit, and I just want to, the lobster's already cooked, but I want to get it in there and warm it, give it some nice flavor with the wine and the heavy cream. I'm going to do a little bit of fresh lemon juice, just to add a little bit of acid to the dish. The other thing is that you know, lemon and seafood just really works. It's going to kind of freshen the dish. And the next thing I'm going to do is just chop up some fresh parsley. I'll put some in the sauce and then save a little bit for the top too. If you could smell this, wow. And quick and easy. I mean, anybody can do this. Yeah, it is pink. It's very romantic. Pink for Valentine's Day. The sauce gets a little bit pink with the tomato in there. Now we add our pasta. And like I say, look at this big dish. I mean, this is going to serve at least 4 people. Nice salad to start things off, maybe some bread, and then a romantic dessert. And I don't know about you, nice movie. It's my kind of a date night. So just toss it to coat. Now you could bring this to a table on one big platter, or you know, you could do it on individual plates. It's up to you. All of my chef friends, which I love to learn from, kind of teach me to You know, you want a little height on that plate with the pasta, so if you really want to be a rock star, kind of, you know, twirl it as you put it down just to get a little bit of height. It's going to taste great no matter what. There we go. And then we got to get some of the lobster, right? So, so, so good. This is that, you know, kind of thing where a little bit will do you. The sauce is so rich, the lobster is so rich that you don't need giant lobster tails with butter and things like that. Just a little bit will do you. Just really works. And then you can always, you know, don't be afraid. It's a little messy going to the plate. So just take a clean, wet rag, and this is what they do back in all the fancy kitchens, and just, you know, go around the plate a little bit. Garnish with a little bit more parsley. And you know what? I think it had to have a little bit of cheese, so maybe a little bit of fresh Parmesan cheese on top. And there you go. It's my lobster scampi. Anybody can make this, and you too will look like a rock star for Valentine's Day. Recipes on our website. You can also pick it up in any area festival.